Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the anime Blue Period Season 1 on Netflix, and I really enjoyed this anime. Now, I'm gonna try and be as kind of spoiler-free as possible, but still give at least enough of an overview to be like, hey, what the fuck is this thing about? So, this follows this kid in high school, Yatora Yaguchi, and when we are first kind of introduced to him, he's just kind of like this achiever who's kind of like hanging out with friends and doing kind of stuff that he's kind of like told to. He's somewhat thought of as a delinquent because him and his friends would go out and drink and smoke, even though they're still in high school, and watch these sporting events things. But Yatora feels like he's just kind of like going through the motions. He does his hard work and everything, and he then gets pulled in and sees this beautiful work of art, and it really inspires him and touches him, and he's like, I kind of want to do more. And his art teacher kind of helps to lead him on that kind of path of choosing art because of what it kind of means to him, and he goes upon this journey. Now, that probably doesn't sound like the cup of tea for everybody, and I didn't know kind of what to expect from this, but it really got me into looking into the creative process in a different kind of way and thinking of like creative things on my own, where we're seeing Yatora go through his process and understand what goes on in art, but it could also be expanded upon to any kind of art, be it like written or like music or anything like that. And it's been a while since I've had an anime or like any kind of show that's been like, hey, boom, and it's just the subject matter hit right, and how they even get into kind of like the technical aspects to the point where it doesn't seem like they're just throwing jargony words at you. A good anime takes its subject, well, a good anything that's trying to like teach you something or show you something with a good story takes its subject matter and does the balance effect of like telling it to you in a way that you can really glean something from it while not being just incomprehensible. That is a very tough balancing act to do, and this one fucking nailed it for me. Granted, it might not hit for everybody else, but it's kind of cool seeing all these different kind of techniques and everything that he goes through as he like continues his journey throughout everything going on. Now, just being about art, you could have just had a documentary and had go through all the various kind of things and have it be more informational. However, the other kind of important kind of punch that this anime gets is the characters, because they actually delve into what it's like to be an artist and all the various different kind of pressures and how they manifest for different people as well. I really identified with Yatora just because there have been certain things throughout my kind of experiences in life that are very similar to his. Like, I do all this stuff in school, I get all these processes, I nail them, and then I see certain things that just inspire the motherfucking shit out of me. Like certain works of mainly books or movies, and like video games. Certain video games just like get into you, and you're like, I want to do that, or I want to help people be able to do that with whatever weird ass skill set I've got. So it really like hit for me because I'm like, yeah, I could be good at these kind of things, and I was able to just really hardcore identify with what he was kind of going through and kind of his thought processes and everything going on, and to see all the different kind of characters as well, because even though he's like your main focal point, we do get other characters as well that are not just cardboard. We even, Yatora's friends are given enough depth and development throughout what goes on in these 12 episodes that you're like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. And you even learn a little bit about, like, mainly one of them, because in turn, Yatora has inspired him to do stuff as well. And you see that kind of knock-on effect, that awesome kind of thing within this series of, like, yes, you see that one spark that ignites something in someone. And then they go and they do that, and that then turn goes to other people, and it starts pushing them to be better at certain things or their own things, and it's just really kind of cool. Now, since it deals with like various different kind of mental things as well, that is could be it could be triggering to people that have had those kind of thoughts and deal with those kind of things, and like body dysmorphia and all that, and just be careful with that. I don't want to delve too deeply into it because this is trying to be as spoiler free as possible, but they do delve into those subject matters. Now, granted, it doesn't get gruesome or anything like this. This is more of a positive, uplifting, kind of optimistic anime. Though, granted, there are certain periods where certain characters are down and feel defeated, so it's not completely sugarcoating that. But if you need a like anime that is like, hey, the world isn't complete shit, or you're just like, oh, grimdark, fucking nihilistic, pessimistic kind of stuff, this would be a pretty good kind of, well, it would be a decent palate cleanser. I would, if you're like been stuck into like a depression hole with certain kind of shows, like, god damn, this is all dark subject matter and stuff. There's other kind of like, I'd have to be like, here, do like some like sugary sweet fucking like ones to kind of get through it. But this one definitely would kind of fall within that kind of category. Not sugary sweet, of like getting gaggy or whatnot, but like you see people doing their best and getting better, and even though they've got their setbacks, they still learn from them, so no mistakes are really made, in my opinion. I like seeing that kind of philosophy of like, yeah, you do all this kind of stuff, this is kind of what the system is, but that doesn't mean that your worth is completely based on whether you pass or you fail. If you gleaned something from this and you learned some new technique, or you got some kind of inspiration and did an amazing work of art, that's all that matters. And also to have fun with that kind of stuff. And seeing that kind of journey just works very well. This one has a nice combination of where the journey and the destination of where we end up at this end of this anime works very well together. And the thing is, it has nice closure, but yet they could continue on again with another season. So I would definitely be looking into this one if they did that again, like another season. However, if they don't, I'm perfectly contented with what they've been able to give me. It's really kind of weird. Like, I would kind of put this up there, like, now granted, with Violet Evergarden, not to the extent that the animation is completely as detailed and hyper-realistic. However, I do love the animation and the way that they present art in here, because you know when you're dealing with art subject matters, it's very hard to kind of do that with an anime, because it either looks weirdly out of place because it's like, hey, I just control C and control V this motherfucker in this anime, and you're like, it's kind of floating out of nowhere, or it just looks kind of off depending upon if it is able to flow within the animation style of what's set in there. That doesn't happen here. The works of art that we see don't feel like they just got slapped on, or that they feel out of place. It feels like it is able to inhabit that world, and even be able to be in part of our world as well without having that like uncanny valley effect. And the animation just works very well. It doesn't go over the top in certain kind of like detailed realism, but it's very effective in showing the world, showing the characters, giving expression and everything, and just working within its tones as well, of having some funny moments that don't break any seriousness of what's going on, which is very hard to do. And again, the aforementioned use of color works very well in this anime as well. You get a variety of different kind of colors and a variety of different kind of just like shapes and just how people look. Now granted, they don't get completely and utterly fucking crazy. They still kind of go within a realm of like people would look like. Not like just like a giant dude or whatnot, or some kind of strange potato looking motherfucker. Though, granted, if somebody came up to me and said, hey, that character kind of looks like a potato, I would not argue with them. But I'm talking like an actual living sentient potato that's like peeling itself. Fucking crazy ass meme. I have to watch that fucking one too some point. But see, it's really kind of hard, but the thing is, I wanted to make this as spoiler free as possible because I think that this would be a really good one to experience with as little information about what goes on as possible, other than what you would see on Netflix or see with the trailers of like, hey, it's this dude who decides to get into art and what kind of happens with there. And the thing is, it's like, yeah, it's kind of difficult to do, but I also would like to say what's good about this anime and definitely recommend it. Now, granted, if you're into action, this has no like fighting or anything in it, other than like the battle of the mind and the battle of trying to make art and deal with that. So it's more of a mental kind of battle going on. So if you need punches and kicks, this isn't for you, which that's fine. There's a lot of other good ones out there for that. I enjoy those ones too. But this one is definitely focused on like expounding upon art and like what makes good art and what makes good artists and all the various different kind of areas in between, and doing to that effect going into good character depth and detail and seeing their journeys and understanding how they affect and influence each other. So if you're a lot into character depth and development, definitely watch this anime. I think you'd get a good hit out of that. And I wouldn't recommend this as something on in the background because you could miss some certain aspects or whatnot. So I would recommend having as much attention as you can devote to it as possible rather than have it in the background, because there are certain good anime that you can have in the background at any kind of time and still get some enjoyment out of. This one, sit down and kind of see where it takes you. And if it's not for you, it's not for you, and that's cool, man. All right there. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one and I'm happy I watched it. So those are my opinions on the anime. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.